Yo, what's up? Zach the Bartender here. Welcome to my first ever episode here on my channel. Well, not technically my first one, but my first lesson. This is the first of my bartending series, Bartending101. Today's lesson is going to be on all of our equipment. So like how an artist needs all their paintbrushes, all the different kinds and styles and different lengths and whatnot to make their painting come to life, we also, as our art and craft, need our bartending tools to do the exact same thing. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and get started on that. So this is Bartending 101, episode 1. So the first thing I'm going to show is the cocktail Boston shakers. These guys right here are very classic. They've been used for over a century now. You'll see them in every kind of bar you go to. The simplest thing is that they vacuum seal with whatever liquids or anything you put inside them. And they come in two distinct sizes here. Obviously you have your smaller one, your smaller tin. Usually you put the liquids in this one first, then you have the scoop of ice inside the bigger tin, and you cap it like that. The back on the seal there is just to seal the vacuum seal it. So the ones I have here are much different than each other. These ones are made by Pina, which I really recommend these ones. These are heavier, so they're weighted. Some of them are not weighted and they feel kind of odd in your hand. Even when you have liquids inside of them to kind of give that counterbalance, it still feels a little weird. I always recommend getting some with weights. These ones are made by Corico. These ones are more like your traditional ones. These ones are not going to be as heavy as the Pinas. They're still a little bit heavier. They have some weight in the back, but these are actually perfect for any kind of cocktails. They won't feel too heavy in your hands when you're shaking. These both, I have no complaints over. If you ever get one of those that has like the little seal on top, don't do it. They get vacuum sealed too, and then it's almost impossible to get the little cap off. At the same time, they don't hold as much, so you can only get maybe 2 cocktails in there at a time, whereas these can hold 3 or more sometimes, depending on the cocktail. So that's the first one there, our Boston shaker. All right, next up, strainers. So strainers come in many different forms, many different shapes and sizes. There is a distinct difference between them all, and there's a reason for each one. These 3 I have are called Hawthorne strainers. They have like almost like a little spring on top that covers up the entire shaker, the tin I mean, so you can pour out your drink with keeping the ice inside. It does not stop sediment from getting in there, so you can use this whenever you're just building a basic cocktail. Then you also have a fine strainer. The fine strainer is used in more drinks that have egg whites or things with sediment that you don't want to have in there. So if you ever use like real fruit, or you muddle something inside your cocktail in your shaker, you need to strain it out. You need to use both of these in tandem. So I recommend putting that on top and holding the strainer out above your glass while you pour. This will ensure that no ice gets out of the shaker and that no sediment gets through the fine strainer. Lastly, we have the julep strainer. You basically hold the julep strainer like this, and you can pour your cocktail without the ice coming out. It's usually generally meant for when you have a giant ice cube in there, which you're going to use for like mixing around old fashions, Manhattans, things like that. Next one, bartender's best friend. The bartender's best friend, or barkeeper's best friend. I don't know. Interchangeable, but main focus of this is to open up bottles with a cork, namely wine. So you have the cork screw here. Just turn that until you open it up. You can use a little bit of mechanical advantage to lever the cap off. You can also use this little knife there in case getting to the cork is going to be too much of a hassle, because some corks are covered in like wax, things like that. So depending on what you get. But yeah, never forget this tool. Easily forgettable, don't forget it. Spoon Man! Very good one to show off too is a bar spoon. So this one it's got a little, it came in a bartending kit, so it's supposed to be stood up like that. It doesn't really stand up very well. You're usually longer than this too, but you want to have a really long one. There is a reason for that. So when you're stirring your cocktail through the glass the entire time, and when you have smaller spoons, you get your hands way too deep in there. But you want to have the longer the spoon, the more advantageous you are for doing this. The bar spoon itself does have a measurement too. Bar spoon is generally measured at about maybe like 1/4 ounce or so. There is some recipes that call for like a bar spoon of sugar or a bar spoon of demerara, stuff like that. That's what that's for. Muddlers. So muddlers are very common. These you see all the time inside bars. They come in lots of different shapes and sizes. So as you can see, this one has a little bit more of a wider muddle apart. This one over here on the other end does not have a wider muddle apart, whatever you want to call it. They do have teeth, so each one has teeth though. Next, I'm going to show you pour spout. Pretty simple. You never really have to like do much for this. You just stick it in the bottle, so it just gets sat right in the bottle. It's got a little spot there to keep air going through it, and a little cap, a little nipple is actually what they're called. You put that on there to protect it from sediment going into it like dust, or from fruit flies that are unwanted. Nobody wants that there. I hate fruit flies, man. I can't tell you how much I hate them. I have to battle one every single year, and it's horrible. No matter what you do, no matter how much you prepare, they just get in and they don't leave. Next up, I'm going to show you the one of our garnish trays here. It comes with 3 compartments, one for lime juice, one for sugar, and one for salt. So you can use this when you're garnishing either like a margarita or some cocktails, like a tahini. Fill this up with a little bit of lime juice, let it soak in there. Fill this up with salt, sugar, make your lemon drops, make your margaritas, all that kind of stuff. Pretty simple, self-explanatory. There are different techniques for rimming glasses though, so I'll go over those in the next couple of episodes probably. So. All right, getting down to it now. We're getting to the last couple of ones. So we have a fruit juicer here. Basically, take the fruit, stick it in there, cut it in half first, and you stick it in there, and you just squeeze until you get what you need. Typically, a lime will give you like an ounce, and a lemon will give you about an ounce and a half or so. But just use a jigger, which is a good segue into this next one. The jiggers! So, each jigger is unique and special. They all have their own measurements, so it's important to get the ones that you like the best. Out of my years of experience, I would say that the jigger with 2 ounces on top and 1 ounce on the bottom that has the little lines in there, I don't know if I can actually show you, but they got a line separating where it's at 1.5 ounces, and on the bottom here it has one for 3/4 and an ounce. So this one is one of my favorites. I use it all the time, but if I'm ever using any recipes with mils, or if I just feel like being European sometimes, I'll use this one. It's measured like this. 45 mils is a shot. So you typically want to go to 45 milliliters if you're doing it like 1.5 ounces. An ounce would be 30 mils, and then a half ounce would be 15 mils, 1/4 ounce is 7.5 mils. So that's the part where it kind of sucks, is when you're doing 7.5 mils. But none of the recipes really do that. All right, the very last thing I'm gonna show you today is the mixing glass. Now these are never seen. Like, I barely see these inside of any bars, at least around where I'm at. But they are so extremely valuable. It's all the cold inside the glass. So while you're stirring it, you're just gonna get your drink chilled. They're so good and so unique, and I'm so surprised a lot of bars don't have it. If you ever shake my old fashioned, I will not accept that. And don't muddle anything. Don't muddle any oranges or cherries in there, and don't add any soda to it. Please, Wisconsin, what is wrong with you? Okay, so that is everything I have to show you today. So anyway, it's important that you have all the tools and you know exactly what each one does, so that way you can be better prepared for your own bar. This will be it for the first episode, so hope you enjoyed. So be sure to like, subscribe, or follow whichever platform you're on to get more content from me. Don't miss out. So hope you have a good day, and I will see you next time. Cheers.